Hello and welcome back to Crit and Crit. I'm Sint,
I'm Axion.
and we are continuing through our discussion of Terry Pratchett's Pyramids while we play through La-Mulana. You're gonna get hit so many times.
Yep. Like that.
Case in point. Anyway, last time we went through just the basic plot overview, skipped over some details here and there because, well, it's a quick recap, and if you want the whole story, go read the book. But today it is time to talk about the cast, or at least the major characters. So, as par for the course with Pratchett, everybody is completely ridiculous and we love them for it. Starting off, though, let's go to our protagonist, Prince Tepic. Or rather, His Greatness the King, Tepic Simon the 28th, Lord of the Heavens, Charioteer of the Wagon of the Sun, Steersman of the Bark of the Sun, Guardian of the Secret Knowledge, Lord of the Horizons, and Keeper of the Way, the Flail of Mercy, the Highborn One, the Never-Dying King. We'll go with Tepic.
It's much easier if you do.
Imagine going to Starbucks with that. Yeah, Tepic is the reluctant god king of Jelly Baby. And by reluctant, we mean, like, he didn't really have a choice in it because, you know, he was away at school learning how to be an assassin to make some money for the kingdom, and when his father died, he suddenly started manifesting god king powers. But I think Tepic is probably best summed up as, like, the conflict that one has as an immigrant. Because, well, he doesn't really identify with the culture of his birthplace anymore because he spent so long outside of it. So he doesn't really feel like he fits in Jelly Baby anymore. He's more quirky. He'd been there since he was a small child.
How did
hey,
I
you
spell
lived!
that?
With 2 HP.
Oh.
This is not gonna go so... Hey, you did it! You almost did it. Yeah. Tepic is, therefore, much more modern-minded than literally everybody in Jelly Baby. He's very practical, pretty clever on his feet, but, yeah.
Fairly no-nonsense for Pratchett protagonist.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's that unusual. I mean, we have Vines.
And Granny
And Susan.
Weatherwax.
Pratchett has a lot of no-nonsense protagonists.
Honestly, really, the only one who's less no-nonsense is probably Rincewind, whose entire thing is that he's surrounded by nonsense. What am I gonna do?
Yep. Oh, Death. Death is usually... Ooh, what's this? Death would get along real well with Jack Skellington, but we're off topic.
I don't know, it is a Halloween episode. No, it's not. That's next video. Or next series.
I shake my head. But, yeah. Tepic, again, wants to be able to, you know, like, okay, if I'm gonna have to do this, I'd like to be able to, you know, modernize a bit. Like, I'd like plumbing. I'd like a nice feather bed. I'd like all these other things. And Dios goes above and beyond in making sure these things never happen due to the time-loopy nature of Jelly Baby.
That is not how things are done.
Yeah. At least that's not how Dios wants to do it, and Dios has been essentially ruling the kingdom since its foundation. But Tepic also has a pretty strong sense of justice. Like, you'd think as king he'd be able to, you know, pardon a prisoner, but no one listens to him. They listen to the high priest speaking for him. No one recognizes him because he has to wear the stupid sun mask the whole time. So when he can't pardon Tracy, who's done nothing wrong, he takes matters into his own hands and helps her escape.
And this is...
So
the issue with Tracy is only the last in the series of things that he wants to do that he's not allowed to do because that's not what the king would do. There's a point where he shakes a man's hand, and Dios has the man's hand amputated because he touched the king.
And even more to the point, the man, I think, demands that it be cut off because he now feels like he has tainted the king and should be punished. So it's not just Dios ordering it, it's the traditions are this strongly ingrained over the years. And Tepic thinks they're stupid. Because they're not his traditions anymore. He's, again, it's essentially like, I grew up in this very old-fashioned country, and now I've been taught in New York City.
There we go!
You did it! Yay! So, yeah. Tepic recognizes that he doesn't think he'd be a good king, and as soon as he can, steps down and gets out. Moving on to, should we do Dios or Tracy?
Dios is introduced first, so let's do him.
Okay, so Dios is the main antagonist of JoJo's Bizarre... Sorry. I'm gonna keep making the joke. I don't even like JoJo, but I'm gonna keep doing it.
Who cares? It's funny. Okay, seriously. He is the antagonist in this particular story, but I'm not sure I'd call him evil. More painfully stubborn and set in his ways.
I don't know, like, I think let's keep the world in complete chaos, so I'm not gonna let you fix the pyramid at the end counts as pretty evil.
Okay, yeah, that's also fair.
Like, there's, you know, like, putting this in D&D terms, there is always room for a character who does not see himself as evil, but has clearly crossed that line some time ago into, this will happen by any means necessary, even if I have to do something reprehensible to make it happen. I think Dios falls into that category. He is a well-intentioned extremist, but he is an extremist and it has gone too far.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I need to be here. There, that's more like it. Stupid fish.
But yeah, Dios' concern is stability uber alles. Things must be predictable and reliable and never change, because change means chaos and scary. I know too many people who have a very similar mindset to Dios. So say we all, I think.
Yup.
Speaking of, I should probably get back to finishing my replay of Xenoblade 3. What? They literally made the enemy... like, the main bad guy of that game is the concept of, I don't like change.
Change scary. Yeah, it's not just I don't like change, it is the fear of change, specifically.
Yeah. Anyway, don't want to spoil a completely unrelated game to this. I don't even know if we'd be able to do a Xenoblade game on this, just because of how sidetracked we would get by side quests. Oh hey, you made a friend.
Yep, it's Knucklevi again. It's just easier to tank the damage and hit him that way.
I guess. But yeah. Dios, the power behind the throne, he's the one who says what the king is truly thinking, even when the king sitting in the throne says something different. So, you know, it's a good system. if you're the high priest, it's a great system. If you're the king, not so much.
I mean, it's fine if you're the king and you agree with the high priest.
Which most of them do because tradition demands it. But if you're Tepic and you haven't been raised in the tradition, who cares?
Yep, until you have to care, because the high priest made you.
Yep, and Dios has actually been living as long as he has due to the time-siphoning nature of the pyramids.
Yep.
They allow him to keep himself, well, I don't want to say young, because...
from dying. And
Yes.
to some extent, Dios knows this, because he refers several times to crossing the river of death, only to come back to the living world.
And he keeps insisting this is going to be the last time I do this.
Yep.
There is a note that he keeps insisting. So, yeah.
And as a result, the reason he keeps insisting that he's going to, and then doesn't, is because his purpose for continually delaying his death is that he doesn't feel there's anyone else who can do his job. There's no one else he trusts to get it right. His hidebound insistence that he knows what is right is accompanied by a perfectionist streak where no one else can do it as well as he can. And as a result, he puts off his own afterlife indefinitely to the point of existing totally within a time loop that sends him back to the foundation of Jelly Baby over and over and over, where he ends up creating the very system that he gets thrown back in time trying to break, by Tebek trying to break. And it's of course it's a completely illogical system of like it's a bootstrap paradox. There is no origin for Dios. There is no point where he was born, because he exists completely inside this time loop. And of course, it's because it's Discworld, we don't take that super seriously, because Pratchett's not that kind of writer. But when you think about it, like, he could very well be just a manifestation of, like, the country's own insecurities about the future. So maybe the connection to Zed was not that inappropriate.
But yeah, so basically that's what we have to say about Dios. He is stasis, and he will enforce that stasis by any means possible. So that moves us on to our third main character, Tracy.
Tracy starts out as just one of the maidservants in the castle, or in the palace, rather. Specifically the favored handmaiden of the late king, and as per tradition, she is to be sacrificed with, or not sacrificed, put to rest in the king's tomb, that she may serve him in the afterlife. Of course, she is not particularly thrilled with this, because, who wants to die?
Well, she's upset about it, but she doesn't really know how to feel about running away, because, like, it's the way things are done here. And that's what she's been raised in, that's all she knows. So, as a typical, maidservant, she's a little bit, not as educated and worldly as Tepek, and she's specifically noted as being a dreadful musician. As, like, I think she puts it as, he loved to hear me play, the king loved to hear me play, he always smiled when I stopped.
Which, at first glance, it's just typical Pratchett humor. Because, I mean, this is the same guy who brought us, like, Bloody Stupid Johnson, the worst mechanic in all existence.
Hey, Everything Johnson made works.
Just not the way
In
it
an
was
entirely different way.
Just not the way it was meant to work.
Yes, the manicure device that we use to peel potatoes.
There we go. There's the water.
But yeah, like, in retrospect, it makes more sense because it's like he just wanted to spend time with his daughter. But yeah. Once she gets out of Jelly Baby and gets a little more worldly experience, meets some of Tepic's friends, namely Chitter, the totally not smuggler that he went to assassin school with, she gets a lot cannier, more able to dig her heels in, and becomes even less willing to put up with nonsense than Tepic when she does take the throne. Like, the replacement high priest, I do not remember his name, does not know how to handle it when she just looks at him and goes, no.
I think it's like Kopu.
Something like that.
I left the book with you.
Oh, you did? I thought it was with you. Kumi.
Kumi. I knew it started with a K.
But he'd wanted changes. It was just that he wanted things to stay the same as well. Like, he wanted Dios gone so he could take over, but this is too much change because now the kings aren't listening. So, the rest of the characters aren't really super notable. I guess we can talk about the late king, Tepic Simon the 27th, who was forgetful to the point of, you know, occasionally thinking he was a seagull and trying to fly, which that, in conjunction with the whole "it's a cloudy day" incident, led to his death. And yours, apparently. But he is the most outspoken of the zombie pharaohs at the end. Sorry, mummy pharaohs at the end, let's be specific here. And is very happy to let them move on to something else. After they've, you know, helped take back the kingdom.
Oh dear, there's quite a lot of you. This is highly unorthodox.
Yep.
Please form an orderly queue.
But yeah, like, we've got the engineers, we've got the philosophers, we've got the other would-be assassins, we've got Chitter, we've got you bastard, like, but none of them really have major roles, so I don't really know what else to really say here.
I think those four really cover the basics. I think that sets our characters for this one. So, relatively short review on the characters this time.
Well, that's alright. So, we shall pick us up next time. Later!
See y'all then!